Wow. How's it, everyone? The brand new GoPro 11 Black came out today. I've been putting this camera through its paces for the past couple weeks, testing out some of the new features, and we're going to get into that in this week's video. But before we do that, here is a little compilation of some of the footage I've captured on the camera so far. So what is the difference between the Hero 10 Black and the new Hero 11 Black? Well, this year GoPro have put the number 11 on the side of the camera, and you know, previously they put the number 10. So that is the big difference. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in next week's video. No, but seriously, there are quite a few differences this year, more than I think that are kind of blatantly obvious. You know, first things first, it's the exact same form factor as the Hero 9, Hero 10. I'm really stoked about that. But the big difference, which I think is the most important difference in the new camera, is the new and biggest sensor. Now, I'm gonna try to break it down in as simple terms as possible what this actually means. So with the biggest sensor on the Hero 11, we can capture content in an 8:7 ratio. This means we're capturing more content vertically on the new camera, whereas previous GoPro cameras only had a sensor that could capture content in a 4:3 ratio. So as you can see, the content doesn't capture as much vertically in some of these side-by-side comparisons. So what does this mean? This means we're getting more immersive content. It means we can capture more. This is great if you're shooting POV content, you want to mount something somewhere, you're just seeing more. This also means we have a new digital lens on the Hero 11. It's called Hyperview. It's extremely wide. It's basically the 8:7 ratio that GoPro has stretched in camera into a 16:9 ratio. Personally, I think it looks a little bit warped. So if you're someone like me and you're, I don't know, I guess a bit more professional, you can stretch it yourself in post-production. Obviously, GoPro have created an in-camera one for ease of use for their general consumers. Now with the new 8:7 ratio, this has very quickly become one of my favorite modes. One of my biggest dilemmas of shooting nowadays is if I want to shoot vertically for, you know, platforms like Instagram and TikTok, or if I want to shoot horizontally for a platform like YouTube or just general traditional content. Now, that usually means you have to shoot something twice, vertically and then in landscape. So what does 8:7 do? Because it captures so much vertically, we can now take one single shot in 8:7 and crop it in portrait. So if you're shooting for Instagram and TikTok, or you can also crop it for landscape if you're shooting for something like YouTube with one single clip. This is a game changer. There are a lot of situations I find myself in where I don't know if I want to shoot, you know, vertically or horizontally. So now 8:7 completely solves that issue. So as I mentioned earlier, with the biggest sensor on the Hero 11 shooting in that 8:7 ratio, we now have more real estate to play with. That means that we have better stabilization. I honestly didn't think GoPro could make Hypersmooth any better, but the biggest sensor has allowed for that. You're really going to notice it when you're shooting in 4:3 and Super View as well. Because we're capturing more vertically, there's just more room to play with. It's pretty simple if you just think about it logically. So I've done a bunch of side-by-side comparisons with the Hero 10 and 11, showing the new stabilization. Obviously, the big key factor is that we now have a full 360-degree horizon lock with the Hero 11, whereas the Hero 10 only goes up to about 27 degrees. Obviously, nobody really runs around filming like this, but there are certain situations where, you know, you might want to move the camera or something and you want it to stay focused, or you want the horizon to stay locked. Now that can happen with the Hero 11. Obviously, we had something like that with the Max Lens mod. Obviously, that's an additional accessory that you have to buy, it costs more money. The Max Lens mod is a wider field of view. As you can see in this side-by-side comparison, I put the Max Lens mod on. It is a wider angle. It's fully horizon locked, but to have that built in on the new camera is pretty great. So another epic feature I know a lot of the pros are gonna love on the Hero 11 is that we now have 10-bit video. So what does 10-bit mean? It basically means that we now have more information in every pixel of video content. So you can just basically manipulate it more for color grading. So if you look at some of these before and afters here, I apply my own color grading video filters, which if you want to buy them, I'll have them linked below. And I mean, you can see some of these before and afters are pretty drastic. It's pretty insane how much you can color grade and manipulate and just do whatever you want with the colors. And that is what 10-bit allows. It's not available in every mode, but it is available in all the nice cinematic modes up to 60 frames per second. Hopefully we'll see it available in 120 in, you know, the future cameras. A couple other things worth mentioning is that the Hero 11 comes stock standard with the new Enduro battery. This came out last year. Makes a world of a difference to your battery life. I would recommend it to anyone if you have one of the older cameras, especially if you shoot in really cold conditions. This battery makes a substantial difference. So one of the bundles GoPro is offering this year is called the Creator Bundle, I believe. It's this little Volta grip. It has a built-in battery, great for if you want to, you know, do some time lapses or just keep your GoPro powered all day if you vlog a lot. Yeah, it's awesome. I have plugged in a wireless microphone. That's the reason why the audio sounds so good in this vlog. I'm just going to run through a bunch of different audio options you could do with the GoPro, from, you know, having no external audio that's straight out of the camera just like this, and we'll play around with the media mod and all the different options it has. So yeah, let's get to it. A little audio comparison between the media mod and the regular GoPro. We will put the audio from the media mod on right now and switch over to the Hero 11. Hopefully there's a little bit of a difference, and then I'm going to compare it with, this is a comparison with a shotgun microphone on the media mod, and then just the naked audio straight out of the Hero 11. I'm assuming the shotgun mic's definitely going to be better than the standard mic on the media mod, and definitely better than the naked audio. Okay, now I have a lapel mic in, and I'm pretty sure it's substantially different compared to the naked audio on the Hero 11. There is the microphone, plain and simple. I think this is probably the best solution if you're vlogging. The nice thing is I can turn the camera anyway and the audio is exactly the same, whereas obviously now this audio is better when it's closer, facing this way, whereas further away you're not hearing as much. Where with the lapel mic right here, it's just a constant, it's better, it's more reliable. So yeah, if you want to get the best quality vlogging audio out of your GoPro, I do think a lapel mic is the best. It is a bit more of a hassle, I won't lie. It's not the best run and gun solution, but if you've got time to set up, definitely worth it. Another new feature this year on the Hero 11 is GoPro really tried to simplify the camera for the average consumer. They have, I think, what it's called a basic mode, and then a pro or creator mode. So the basic mode, I think, has 5 different video modes. It's very simple. You don't have to worry about your ISO or all those sort of complex custom settings like white balance, exposure, sharpness, etc. It just does it all for you. It's really simplified. You got 5 different modes, that's it. And then obviously with the pro mode, it unlocks the standard GoPro features that we've always had with your ISO, sharpness, white balance, etc. So I think it's very clever that GoPro have done that. On top, they've also upgraded their quick app. Personally, I don't use the quick app for editing much. I do all my editing on a computer, but obviously they are trying to appeal to the broader market. So from what I understand, they now have, you know, an auto AI editing feature. I tested out on the Hero 9 or 10 about a year or so ago, edited it all on a phone. It was pretty impressive for what it was. So apparently there are some improvements to that. Very clever of GoPro. You know, if you go out and you shoot with your camera and you're on holiday and you get back home, you plug your GoPro into charge, and the fact that it'll all upload to the cloud, create an edit for you, and you know, by the time you're at dinner, you look at your phone, you've got a video edited for you. It's pretty ridiculous. Makes me a little bit scared that AI will put me out of a job in a few years, but for now I think I'm safe. GoPro also released the new GoPro Mini. I don't have one, I haven't seen one yet. I have been told that it's about 20 grams lighter. It's pretty much the Hero 11 in a smaller, more compact body. Obviously there's no screen. I think there's a built-in battery. So there are pros and cons to this. I would not recommend it to a first-time GoPro user. Having the screen on the front and the back, super useful. I try really hard not to look at the screen, but I can frame myself up right now while the camera's looking at me, which is great for vlogging. I think the people that are going to use the Mini are people that, you know, usually mount the camera somewhere and don't really need a screen. So, you know, your mountain bikers, if they're using it on the chest or the head, maybe some surfers for POV. I know personally I'm gonna love it for capturing behind the scenes. You know, when I'm wakeboarding, I usually have, or filming wakeboarding, I usually have a GoPro on my head to capture my POV for behind the scenes. I don't need a screen for that. So for certain things like that, I think it's gonna be really handy. I'm pretty sure the FPV guys will like it because they won't have to worry about cracking the GoPro screen when they crash their drone. So definitely some pros to it. I think the average person is probably gonna buy the regular Hero 11, but definitely cool to have something like the Mini available. So some pretty cool upgrades on the Hero 11 this year. I must say GoPro have really thought about the pros in the sense of like the biggest sensor and the 10-bit video, but they've also really thought about the average consumer, where they've just tried to simplify the whole thing with the basic mode and also just really focusing on the automated editing in the quick app. One last thing, if you do want to grab my video filters, I will have them linked below. I'm going to run a little discount just for 1 week only, so make sure you snag them before then. Yeah, check the link out, all the information's there. And yeah, if you want to buy the new GoPro 11, I do have an affiliate link. So if you enjoy the content on this channel, you want to support me, would appreciate you buying anything GoPro related through the link below. It does help me out. I do earn a small commission. This video isn't paid for by GoPro. I can say whatever I want. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up.